Yo, what's up? My name's Kadaya bin Yisra'el, and I am just making a really quick video to touch home on something that a lot of people are just not talking about, and that's leasing a vehicle through Uber. I know a few people who lease vehicles through Uber, and they weren't being very truthful. And the reason why they weren't being very truthful is because I had to notice that they were simply trying to get me to sign up with Uber. So everything that they were advocating for Uber sounded very good. But all the reviews that I see online, because when I look at things, I look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. I want to see what everybody's saying. I want to see what's going on YouTube with it. I want to see on the online forums, everything. I want to read your reviews. So, I see a lot of pretty much I just don't see good things with Uber. So when I finally started doing Uber, and I'll tell you right now, I have a full-time job, work for Kaiser Hospital. I'm not hurting for money. I don't really need to drive for Uber. The reason why I drive for Uber is because I got sick of seeing people come through the trauma bay and they die because some flipping drunk driver decides to put everyone's life at risk and go out drunk driving and kill people. So, honestly, as humans, we don't really think of the rippling effects of our decisions. We don't think about who I could possibly be hurting. Does this decision have a good return on this investment that I'm going to put in it? So, we don't normally think about those things. So, I see it happen all the time. I see people die all the time. It's freaking ridiculous. So, one day I was like, hey, you know what? I didn't want to drive for Uber. I'm going to sign up. I got my car. That's all right. It's a pretty good running car. I don't care. I got leather seats. Somebody throws up in the back seat, I'll clean it right off. So, I signed up to drive for Uber. It's a pretty painless process. Very painless, pretty easy. So, signed up, started driving for Uber. It works. I tested it very heavy. Tested how it works. And this is just pretty much speaking with Sacramento. But for the most part, all cities are pretty much the same. You have times when people need rides and other times when people just don't. Every city is nearly saturated with Uber and Lyft drivers to the point where people are literally fighting for fares. Trying to get to the best place, Hey, dude, you're in my area. Get out of my area. It's kind of ridiculous. So, I don't do all of that. I do exactly what I say I do, and that's nights and weekends. I pick drunk people up. I have throw-up bags for them. Everything's ready to go. Get in the car. Don't tear anything up. Get out. You got a 5-star. Thank you. Bye. That's pretty much how it works. And for the most part, make around $300, maybe $400 a week. It works out, mainly because I don't spend much in gas. I have a pretty fuel-efficient car, and I'm going out during the surge when there's a guaranteed surge, not that little, hey, drivers, get out there, go working, surge, and the surge cuts off in 2 minutes. No, when you're picking people up, and it's really during a real peak time, club is getting out, people are bar hopping. So in Sacramento, in between, I'm going to say 12 o'clock and 4 a.m. surge the entire time. The entire time it's surge. Everywhere you're going, surge. Every person you're picking up, surge. From 12 o'clock straight on through 4 is surge. So you're making a lot of money because Uber takes a lot of money from people. And the fares are so low that it's just not worth it. So when it comes to leasing a vehicle through Uber, this is why it is not worth it. And I would tell you it's a very, very easy and painless process, but it's not worth it because the drivers, if you drive full-time for Uber, you simply don't make enough. Don't lie to the world and say that you do. You don't make enough. Any smart person can do the math and figure the numbers when it comes to the rides that you're giving. The fact that it's about a $4.95 minimum ride, and for that $4.95 minimum fare, you only see about $2.10 of that. Uber says that you get about I want to say 70. No, it's $1.20 per mile. $1.20 per mile as a truck driver? Oh, that sounds lovely. Because most truck drivers get paid 54 cents a mile. That's if you work for a pretty good company. Don't go to CR England, though. Don't do that shit. Don't do it. But, 54 cents per mile, and you're driving roughly 1,000 miles, that adds up. You drive 1,000 miles in this way, 1,000 miles in that way, 500 miles here, 200 miles there. That adds up. For a company driver, for a truck driving company, you don't see most of them damn expenses. You don't. You just out like a loser. You're never home. But when you're an Uber or Lyft driver, you're driving your own personal vehicle, your own gas. You're the owner operator of that vehicle. You have to pay the insurance. You have to pay for your tires, your freaking rotations, oil changes. You'll be getting the oil change like every 2 weeks just to be able to keep up with things. And I use synthetic oil in my car, so I don't have to change it all the time. But yeah, I can't be doing freaking synthetic oil changes with the upgraded filter every month. It's almost 70 watts. That's not gonna work, especially in the car that I drive. No, it's not gonna work. So if you really figure the math, it's just not worth it. They promise you about $30 an hour, but really, no, you're not getting $30 an hour. And if you are making runs, you're putting a lot of stress on your vehicle. So a lot of your money is going towards keeping your vehicle running. And you have to keep it clean, have to keep it smelling nice, and clean on the outside and the inside, otherwise you're going to get bad ratings. And if you get anything under a 5, you got a bad rating. There's a lot of people talking about the rating system, but when it comes to leasing, it goes like this. I got an email, and so I got the email, and it said, hey, you've been approved for $20,000 in a lease for Uber. How about you come down to one of the local dealerships, and we're going to get you started. That seemed like complete BS, because I know buying a vehicle is worse than pulling teeth. Pulling teeth is actually probably better than buying a vehicle, because you're going to get down there and then you're going to get caught into some freaking spot lending scam that dealerships, even reputable dealerships, still to this day they do. They'll tell you to bring your old car in, trade it in. We'll give you this much trade credit for it. We'll drive you off. You drive off the lot in this nice new model. And then you get home about a week later. They call you, hey, we need you to come back, bring the vehicle back because the deal with the bank the deal with the bank fell through, and we need to find a new bank. So we need you to come back, find a new bank, and then you have to pay a larger down payment, so on and so forth, because honestly, they never ran your freaking nothing. They just glanced over your credit and was like, this might work out. Because all dealerships now, even reputable dealerships, deal with subprime lenders. Like Lobel Financial, Rudolph Incorporated. Gosh, Westlake Financial is the people who finance for Uber. Because yes, you're actually financing that vehicle. It's not simply a lease. It's a finance. But so the vehicle itself is actually financed through Westlake Financial. They pay the dealership for it. Which that's kind of standard with all leases, but the price of a lease is a lot less normally than buying a vehicle. A normal lease for a person, even with so-so credit, will be about $200 maybe. $250 depending on the kind of car that you have. $190, $180, I've seen some very low leases. But with this, you're going to pay roughly $150 a week, and that's 152 payments. So you're going to give 152 payments, and you're going to pay about $150 a week. So if you do the math, that's roughly $20,500 for a vehicle that's probably worth around 16, 17, probably more, probably less. But what it is this. So I went to the dealership. I went to Elk Grove Toyota in Sacramento. The person who helped me was actually a friend from high school, so that worked out. So I went in and I was already saying, hey, look, I just want to see how this works out, So she wanted to stick me into a brand new Toyota Prius. And I was like, no. I want something cheaper. I don't want to be paying too much for a vehicle for Uber. So she said, how about a Toyota Camry? We have these brand new. Did you not just hear me? I don't want to pay that much. So finally, she went and got a used Nissan Altima. It was very nice. It was actually pretty nice. Had the navigation and everything, touchscreen. It was the sports edition, 4-cylinder, turbocharged. I guess, I don't know, but hey, it had a nice bit of pickup and get up and go. So it works. It was a very nice car, and there was absolutely no headache. Test drove the car. She drew up the paperwork. And Uber is the people who ran my credit. The dealership said they do not run the credit. Uber runs the credit. And Westlake Financial is the people who pays the dealership for giving you that car. So pretty much what this is Uber takes away all the headache for you. Yes, there's no headache. When they give you that email and it's that $250 come to the dealership, in a nutshell, yes, bring them $250, but you want to come with roughly $500, and I'll tell you why in just a second. So, you bring the money, test drive the car, and you like the car, you agree to the payment, and then they go in the back again, they grab up the insurance company, because Uber has their own insurance. So, for my personal car, I don't get this insurance, but for their car, they want their car insured with the appropriate commercial driving insurance, because you're a commercial driver, because you're driving people around for money. If I told my insurance company right now that I'm driving people around for money, damn, drop me so fast, you're done. You're not on our policy anymore. You violated our terms and agreements. Unless you're gonna up your policy to a commercial policy, then you can keep doing what you're doing. You're just gonna pay us more liability. So, for their vehicles, yes, you have to have the insurance. So what happens is, the dealer gets the insurance all together, and you call the insurance company, and you buy an insurance policy through one of Uber's partners, which there's 3 insurance companies that they have, and you buy the insurance for their vehicle, you give the dealership your $250, and you drive off the lot. Now, pretty much fine line is there's no down payment, they say, but the down payment is actually figured into the payments over the course of the lease, which will be roughly 3-4 years. So it's figured into the payment, and it's roughly $2,500. So it's figured into the payment, and you as a driver, you don't necessarily see that come right out, because Uber takes the payments out of your pay, and let's be quite honest, $588 plus insurance for a vehicle that if you would have financed it yourself, you came up with $2,000-3,000 down, whatever, you would have financed it yourself, you probably pay $390 for that vehicle, $390 a month plus insurance, your own insurance. So it's simply not worth it. It's just not worth it unless you have a full-time job and you are just simply desperate for a vehicle. I need a vehicle. I don't care that I'm buying this vehicle, because that's pretty much what it is, and that's why there's no headache. Uber is taking care of all the paperwork for you. They pretty much take care of everything for you, because they're in bed with the bank that's giving you the financing. So, how do I explain this? You're financing a leased vehicle, pretty much. You are accepting a lease, and if you don't complete that lease, they will go after you for the full price of that lease. But in a sense, Uber will still walk away from that vehicle free and clear. Now, if you complete the lease, they take the vehicle back, they sell it again. They don't care that you put about 120,000 miles on it, because what's putting a new engine in a 2015 Nissan Altima and it's only like 2019, that you put a number of miles on? What's changing the engine or transmission for a car I didn't pay for? I didn't pay for it. That idiot paid for it, and he just gave it to me because he signed this janky contract to give it to me. So it would be nothing for Uber to keep the vehicle, do whatever they do with it after the lease is up, because even if you beat the hell out of the car, it's not going to cost us that much, to fix it because you paid for it. You paid that 20-some odd $1,000. It's nothing for me to drop $4,000 in it buying a new engine and transmission that I'm more than likely going to get at wholesale from one of my vendors. So that is pretty much how it is. There's no headache. There's no backdoor dealings. There's no, hey, give us more money. There's nothing like that. No, it's very simple. But you are buying a vehicle for Uber. And honestly, it's not worth it to be driving around, slaving yourself off, working your first, like, I'm going to say 2 weeks just to pay for the vehicle. Because that's how it is. 2 weeks out of the month is going to all be going to the price of that vehicle when you think about it. Roughly $588 plus insurance. That's a lot. That's a lot. And you're already taking home slave poverty wages if you're a full-time driver for Uber. Now, I know people, they sit around and advocate hard for Uber online, but most of these people, I'm going to give you the trick. If you look at their YouTube videos, you look at their YouTube channels, nearly anyone saying Uber is a good run, they have a link in the description box of their video suggesting that you sign up for Uber through them. That's the game. That's the thing. They're not really driving that much anymore because the more suckers I can get to sign up and complete 25 trips, I don't need to drive. I'm getting like $100, $200, $300 each sucker that does this. And if you understand that these videos, they get a lot of views because a lot of people are watching Uber videos. You know, they're pretty popular. You know, if you watch 2, 3, 4 Uber videos, targeted ad placement, hey, he's watching these videos. So in order for us to keep making money on YouTube, we need to keep sending him these videos as suggestions. You see one, you touch it, they play a commercial. People getting paid all the way to the bank off your ignorance. Don't be ignorant. Don't. If you have a full-time job and Uber is your side hustle, you do it nights and weekends, you have a really thick skin to people throwing up on you, fighting your car, all that good stuff, then hey, go for it. I mean, I won't fault you for it. If I honestly needed a vehicle, and even though I make so much money that it's kind of not, I really wouldn't be needing another vehicle like that. But hey, there are some people with full-time jobs that just simply can't get a car. Uber does not really want you using their vehicle as a personal vehicle, but who gives a crap? You're paying so much for it. Do what you want. They don't watch you all day. They ain't your mom and your daddy. So, in the sense that you already have a full-time job and you do Uber part-time and you're going to do Uber part-time and you're pretty much doing Uber to pay for this vehicle so that you can have a vehicle, so all the extra money that you're making is going to this vehicle, and anything extra on that side from Uber after the vehicle's paid for, hey, that's all nice extra money. But if you're doing it just to have a vehicle and you're driving for Uber just to have a vehicle so that you have transportation to your day job, then having a night job through Uber is completely worth it. Going ahead and leasing a vehicle through Uber, you're 100% understanding that they're going to take the car back, they're going to keep the car, which we know how this works with leases anyways, but not normally for that much money. Not normally for that much money. Man, I can go out and freaking buy a Ford F-150, probably pay like $600 a month in a note, but it's for my vehicle that I'm going to have for the next 10, 15, 20 dang years, depending on how long it lasts, you know. So in that sense, that works. But normally for a vehicle that you're going to give back after 4 years, paying that much, it's not worth it. Because a normal lease, you don't go over a certain mileage, and that's why they're paying you less. You're pretty much giving them half the worth of the vehicle, and they're going to sell it back because you didn't go over that particular mileage cap. So by the time that you do give that vehicle that you leased back, it's still within a very, very good blue book value to resell again. So yeah, but this, no, don't do it. There's no links at the bottom of my video saying go sign up for Uber or Lyft with me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Driving for Uber does not work. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You don't make enough money. You don't. Unless you're driving on the weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, depending on the city that you live in. Sacramento, yeah, business be booming on them days. Other places, I can't tell you whether it is or not. Some cities might have a better market for daytime drivers, but I tell you right now I'm in LA. LA is so saturated with freaking drivers. Nearly everyone has a car out here. But you go to San Francisco, where traffic is really so bad that not everyone has a car. Most people drive. Well, most people take public transportation. Public transportation stinks like hell out there, but still Uber don't beat BART. To get from here to here very quickly, Uber still don't beat BART. So do I want to not take BART where I smell piss and jump in the back seat of a clean Uber vehicle that I'm gonna sit in traffic? Or do I just want to smell piss for a few minutes, put my headphones on, and just go? You know, those are the kind of things that factor in. You know, me as a consumer, I would think about these kind of things. Do I really want to pay, I'm going to say, a little more, a little less to get there a lot later, inconvenience? Or would I just be inconvenienced for about 10-15 minutes, real quick ride on the light rail, get home, whatever? So, you know, this video ran longer. You know, I hope I answered the questions. The email is pretty truthful. You're going to go down to the dealership. You're going to give them $250. But the extra money that you're going to need is going to be for the insurance. Because the insurance, I don't know if I covered that because it went so long. The insurance, yeah, you buy the insurance right there. And that's where the extra money is going to come from. Because you have to have Uber special insurance. So, besides that you're not told about, it's pretty seamless. I'm not sure if in some cases they just factor the insurance into the payment. I don't know, but in my case, the insurance would have been paid out of pocket right then and there. So, $250 to the dealer, plus insurance. You drive away with a new car and a big headache of a payment. So it's just not worth it. I'm not going to advocate for Uber. I'm not going to tell you some freaking pipe dreams. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not worth it. Alrighty, shalom.